best diet is the one that you're gonna stick with. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Joe. First time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Really appreciate it. Hope your workouts are going really well too. And I know it's been a little while since I've done a video now. Work schedule's been absolutely nuts, and I honestly felt that I needed a little bit of a break, honestly, but I am back. And before I get to a review, the next one coming up, by the way, is Jeff Nippert's new Power Building Program 2.0. It is coming out this Sunday, all right? So I will be reviewing it this following week, okay, I promise. But for right now, guys, wanted to go over actually a really important topic, which is how do you find out what's the best diet, or which diet is the best one to stick with? And the simple answer is, like I said, it's the one that you can actually stick with. Now, there's a ton of them out there. You have Keto, Intermittent Fasting, Paleo, you name it, they're all out there, okay? But at the end of the day, there's no one that's better over the other. That's the absolute truth. And before I go any further, okay, my background is not specifically in nutrition. I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm not a sports nutritionist or anything like that, okay? My background does give me some ability to discuss nutrition to a certain extent, but I can't really go any further than talking about diets in general, specifically finding the right ones for you, okay? Because I cannot talk about a specific diet for you, a specific diet plan. That's not really in my scope of practice, okay? So I just wanted to clarify that up, make sure you guys understand that. Now, getting back into it though, but like I said, the best one is really the one that you think you can stick with in the long term. There's no one that has a specific advantage over the other. They all have their own advantages. They all have their own disadvantages. Okay, so just to talk about a few of them here, let's take keto, for example. Okay, the whole premise behind keto is that you are lowering your carb intake or trying to eliminate carbs altogether. Okay, is it the fact that you're eliminating carbs is what's leading to your weight loss? No, it's not. Okay, it's the fact that you're restricting your caloric intake. This is how all of these diets work, okay? That's why people have success in pretty much all of them. They all lead to the same thing, which is caloric restriction, lowering your caloric intake, lowering your calories, right? That's what leads to weight loss. It doesn't matter if it's keto, if it's intermittent fasting. Again, you're eating in a specific time window. What are you doing in that time? Restricting your caloric intake. Paleo, that's restricting your caloric intake because you're restricting the type of foods that you're going to be taking in. All right, you name it, it's going to be leading to restriction of caloric intake. That's why they all work. So the fact is, finding the best one for you is really which one you think you can stick with the long run, and the one that think is going to fit with you and your lifestyle the easiest or the best. Let's mention intermittent fasting, okay? The whole premise of that is you restrict your eating to a certain time frame. Okay, in that case, a lot of people are very, very busy. Like, they're not able to get breakfast in the morning. They just don't have time to make it, to eat it at all, and they have to eat later on in the day, or they only have time for 2 meals during the day. Some people are that busy. That's just life, it's a reality. To say that people have time to eat all the time and get their meals in, no, that's ridiculous, okay? Everybody's different. In that case, some people are doing intermittent fasting already, not by choice, but because they're forced to because of their schedule. So in that case, again, they found success in weight loss simply because of their lifestyle, simply because they're being forced to eat in a specific time frame throughout the day. Okay, so in that case, intermittent fasting might be a good fit for you. If it is something that you enjoy doing, if it's something that you feel good about doing, by all means, go for it, okay? I'm not a huge proponent of something like intermittent fasting, if I'm honest, simply because there are some disadvantages to it. There's no magical thing to restricting your intake to a certain time frame. It just isn't. And there's also the possibility or the risk of leading to an eating disorder, okay, like binge eating, for example, which has happened to a lot of people. Now, I know there's going to be somebody watching this and they say that they've been doing intermittent fasting for years and they never had a problem, they don't have an eating disorder. That's great, okay? I'm not saying that everybody is going to end up developing an eating disorder. Okay, there's a lot of you that have had success with this and will continue to have success with it. no issues, okay? But there are a ton of other people that have had issues with it, that have developed an eating disorder, okay? It's the truth, and there is that risk with it. When it comes to keto, all right, you're not gonna end up having your optimal performance with it, okay? Because you need carbohydrates in order to build muscle and strength. You just do. That's how the body works, how physiology works. Okay, so if you're restricting that, are you gonna be building your optimal amount of muscle and strength with that type of diet? No. Now again, some of you are gonna be commenting on here, I'm sure, or some of you watching thinking that you've had great success in developing muscle and strength on the keto. That's great, but can you honestly tell me that it's been optimal? Okay, that you really had developed as much muscle and strength as if you were on a proper regular diet of a good mix of carbohydrates, protein, and fats? Probably not, honestly, okay? But at the end of the day, guys, if you enjoy this type of diet and that's how you want to lose the weight, go for it. I do recommend that if you're gonna be on keto, that you increase your protein intake so you're able to at least maintain the muscle mass and strength that you have. Okay, but at the end of the day, if you want to give it a try, go for it. Paleo, there's another one, okay? Nothing magical about that one, okay? First off, there's no concrete evidence that this is how our ancestors ate, specifically. And even if it is, okay, it's not because they ate that way because they wanted optimal performance or for optimal health. No, they ate what they had readily available so they're able to actually eat and survive. Okay, it had nothing to do with being healthy or anything like that. It had everything to do with not dying. Okay, so resorting to a paleo type of thing, if you enjoy it and you want to go for it again, you can, but don't expect it to be something that's actually going to be for health, because it's not. Okay, there's a reason that we as humans have evolved over the past thousands of years. All right, so there's no reason for you to resort to that type of diet that people were eating thousands of years ago, okay? We don't really live like that anymore. But again, if you want to give that one a try, go for it. All right, so there's a bunch of other diets out there, Atkins, Weight Watchers, you name it. They all, again, like I said, they all lead to the same exact thing, which is caloric restrictions, okay? Which is what leads to weight loss. So pick the one that you want to try out. If you had success with one in the past and you want to stick with that and you know you can stick with it in the long run, go for it, all right? That's the one that you need to stick with, okay? But at the end of the day, guys, if you're not really all that sure, all it really is for weight loss in terms of diet is reducing your calorie intake. Okay, that's really what it is all about. Track the calories that you've been consuming, reduce it by a certain number, not a huge amount, all right, or by a huge number, excuse me, about 300 to 500, depending on your goals, depending on the individual and their current diet, all right? But you don't really need to make it much more complicated than that, all right? So, like I said, that's about where my scope of practice goes to. That's where I'm gonna pretty much stop things because I can't or shouldn't really be talking any further than this about diet specifically. All right, but I hope that this helped you guys out in terms of determining which diet to choose for. It really comes down to the one you can stick with, the one that you think you will enjoy doing and won't really have any issues. And as long as you understand the advantages and disadvantages to both, some of the risks or drawbacks for some of them as well. If you understand all that and you think you'll be all right, then go for it, whichever one that you want to try out or have had success with in the past. All right, guys, so I hope you found this video really, really helpful. And like I said, that review for Jeff Nippard's new programming coming out really, really soon, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys next week.